ConCrete Plus creates the reinforcement drawings for beams calculated with diamonds or concrete. Note that you cannot create new elements in ConCrete Plus. You can only import beams already calculated in diamonds or concrete. In this video, you will learn how to send beams from diamonds to ConCrete Plus for automatic generation of the reinforcement plans. We are currently looking at a 3D diamonds plate model with several concrete beams. In order to send the beams to ConCrete Plus, reinforcement results must be available. That means that the internal forces must be calculated using the calculator, as well as the reinforcement using the icon with the graphs. This model is calculated and the reinforcement results are available. There are two ways for transferring the beams to ConCrete Plus, using the clipboard, meaning that you use copy-paste functions, or by the creation of an export file. Very important, in both cases, the beam reinforcement results must be displayed on screen and you need to select the elements to be transferred or to be exported to ConCrete Plus. Number one is the copy-paste operation. Note that you can only transfer one element at a time in this method. I select these two beams. They will be considered as one continuous element, and I use the hotkeys Ctrl+C or Edit, Copy to Ctrl+. Next, I open ConCrete Plus, and here I use the hotkeys Ctrl+V, or I use Paste from the Edit menu. Back in Diamonds, you select the next beam and repeat the copy-paste and so on. The other way is the export-import method. You need to select all elements to be exported. If no elements are selected, it will mean that we have an empty export file. I select all the beams. There are currently 8 beams selected. Next I go to File, Export to ConCrete Plus, and I save the file. Now, in ConCrete Plus, I open the file. We have the 8 beams, and let us take a look at the first beam, and I just double click it to activate it. We get some warnings regarding the reinforcement anchorage quantities. I hit OK, and a message regarding, or a note regarding the stirrups. And I click again OK, and we will come back to these messages later. ConCrete Plus has automatically translated the theoretical reinforcement quantities into a practical scheme of upper and lower bars and stirrups. Well, as far as possible, of course, because you see that the bottom reinforcement is missing. We as a user need to provide additional information to ConCrete Plus so that also this reinforcement can be drawn. We are currently in the window Reinforcement Plan, and we see the long view of the beam. The arrangement and diameters of all bars and the stirrups are automatically calculated and drawn, as well as the required anchorage length. We see in this model that the beam has 3 supports. In diamonds, there were only 2 supports. The short end was free. By clicking with the right mouse button anywhere in the field, you can edit the supports. ConCrete Plus automatically selects the support nearest to your clicking point, and we want to edit the right end support, and we just want to remove it really, and we confirm with OK. Again, messages, OK. And the drawing is immediately updated. Let's now talk about the messages we got. First of all, the note regarding the stirrups. We can see the message again by clicking the note button below. It says, please check the resistance of the horizontal parts of the stirrups. You need to know that ConCrete Plus proposes a stirrup reinforcement based on the section of the vertical shear reinforcement. This is okay for beams with simple bending. But coming from a 3D software such as Diamonds, you need to be aware of this. Usually, when vertical loading is controlling, this won't be an issue. But just to be sure, you need to verify in Diamonds whether the horizontal part of the required stirrup quantity is smaller than the vertical part. When the horizontal part is smaller, then the stirrups will be correctly determined by the vertical quantity. This is automatically implemented in ConCrete Plus. In the opposite case, when you need more horizontal stirrup reinforcement than vertically, you need to adjust the stirrups in ConCrete Plus. Now in this file, let's go back to Diamonds. Let's take a look at the vertical stirrup reinforcement. We see that we need about 613, 620 square millimeters. When we look at the horizontal part, it's about 320. So the horizontal part is smaller than the vertical part. And in this file, everything is okay and we can continue in ConCrete Plus without adjusting the stirrups. And we hit OK because now we know that we can ignore the message. Now, so far, all diameters were automatically set. And of course, we can modify them. I switched to the window diameter determination. Now, here again, we get messages regarding the required reinforcement anchorage quantities. It's about value 175, 332, and so on. And we see these values appearing here on screen, so we will just read them in a short while. I hit OK. Let's first talk about the layout. What we see over here is a schematic long view of the beam, but not at all to scale. You can even play with the width and the height in order to maximize the readability. The values shown are the theoretical reinforcement quantities. Values with diameters associated are proposed by ConCrete Plus. By clicking on a quantity, you can set or modify the number of bars, the diameter, the layer, the position, the suspension, etc. Bold, italic values need attention. They still need to be translated into practical diameters by the user. Let us choose to diameter 16. When determining the number of bars and diameters, you immediately see at the bottom of this window how much square millimeter reinforcement is already provided and how much is still needed. I will place these bars in the second layer, and these values are also updated, and I confirm it OK. The nice thing now is that we can easily copy this value to the rest of the beam by means of the Shift and Control button. I hover over the diameter configuration to copy, hold the Shift button down, move to the right, and I click where this configuration needs to be pasted. In the other direction, I can use the Control button. Going back to the main view, I do not see the 2 times diameter 16 appearing. This will only be the case when I choose discontinuous anchorage from the middle icon menu. We can now export the bar bending schedule to ConCrete List. I open ConCrete List. ConCrete List generates the cutting list and summaries for beams from ConCrete Plus. Here I import the data file. We are automatically set to the bending state. This is an overview of all reinforcement in the beam, grouped in bending units. We see the number of equal bending units in the group, the name, the number of elements, meaning bars of stirrups per unit, the total number of elements per group, the schematic representation of the bending shape, the different bending lengths, the cutting length per element, and the total cutting length for the whole group, the diameter, and the steel grade. We can also view individual member data, and we see the shape, the individual dimensions, the total cutting length, etc. In addition, there are summary amounts per diameter, the required length, and the total number of kilograms required. Back in ConCrete Plus, I can create now a plot file. The drawings can be exported to Stracon, Tekla Structures, or DXF. And I save to a DXF file. At the bottom of this window, there are a number of functions to zoom, print, see nodes coming from diamonds, and also create section views. I will create 2 section views. They appear immediately below the long view, and they have all appropriate reinforcement information. After creation, you can drag and drop them wherever you want. Analogously, we can generate reinforcement drawings for the other 7 elements, and that makes ConCrete Plus the perfect software to automatically create reinforcement drawings and cutting lists for your beams calculated with diamonds.